Hey, good afternoon. Greetings from a very chilly and brisk Toronto. We're going to get started very soon. Just want to allow our participants to join the session. So I'm just going to be monitoring our participants, making sure everybody can join. Once everybody's in the session, then we will begin. All right, so let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Smith Master of Finance information session. Today, we are focusing on financing your Smith Master of Finance degree. So we're going to be discussing some financing options that are available for both our domestic and our international students. Before we get started, I'd like to take care of a couple housekeeping items. Please note that this session is being recorded. So if you are interested in rewatching this session, a copy of the recording will be sent to you since you have registered for the session. We will also have this posted to our YouTube channel. So if you go on to the Smith Master of Finance YouTube channel, you'll be able to see a recording of this session so you can get more information and capture anything that you may have missed. I will also save some time at the end for you to ask any questions. So please hang back and ask any questions that you may have so I can clarify anything that you may have missed. Before we get started, we always like to do a land acknowledgement. So Smith, Toronto is situated on the traditional territory of the Huon-Wendat and the Petun First Nations, the Seneca and the Mississaugas of the Credit River. We are grateful to be able to live, learn, and play on these lands. So this information session will really focus primarily on the financing options for the program. If you're not somebody that's familiar with the program, I'm going to give a very high level introduction to the Master of Finance program that we offer here at the Smith School of Business. So this program is primarily a 1 year while you work. So if you are working full-time, you will not need to quit your job to take this program. And we're conveniently located downtown Toronto. So this is where I'm reporting or doing this webinar from. I'm at the Smith Toronto facility. We're located at 200 Front Street West. And this program will provide you with a deeper and broader understanding of finance. So what we will do is equip you with the knowledge and tools to immediately move from the theoretical to the real world application. So we're really focused on experiential learning in this program. So you're not just going to be learning the theoretical side of things. You're going to be learning how these things work. How can you apply them in the marketplace? So we're really trying to prepare you for, if you're, let's say you're looking for a job in finance, we're really preparing you to be able to succeed and excel in that job. So as a graduate from this program, we expect you to have a solid understanding of the current financial climate and market trends. And we want you to be able to communicate your ideas accurately and concisely. So as you can see, there are a lot of interesting things happening right now in finance, from tariffs to interest rates to inflation. So there are a lot of things happening. And as you can see in the markets, there's a lot of fluctuation. So it's an excellent time to really dive in and learn about what's going on in the market, predictions, like how can you utilize forecasting. So all of these things are things that we teach in the program. So we're using real world data. Let me introduce myself. I'll be the one guiding you through this information session. So my name is Gary Hines. I am the Associate Director for the Master of Finance program here at the Smith School of Business. Part of my role is to tell you about the program and answer any questions that you may have. If you are applying to the program, part of the steps in the program, one of the steps in the program will be a 20 to 25-minute conversation with myself to understand your motivations for taking the program. It will also allow me to get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to briefly touch on the application process for this program. This program is very simple to get into. Not simple to get into, sorry, simple to apply. We have a very easy application process. All you would need to do is submit an unofficial transcript and a copy of your resume, and that'll get the process started. When you submit that application, you will be paired with an application advisor. This is our application advisor on the screen, Jennifer Mayer, who will be working with you throughout your application process. So when we look at an application, we're looking at it on an individual basis. So we're not painting a broad brush and saying like whether you qualify or not. We look at what you've done in the past. We look at your undergrad, if you're currently working in finance, your CFA, GMAT scores, all of these things will be taken into consideration throughout the application process, and we will advise you. There are no fees for the application, so you can feel free to apply at any time. We operate on a rolling admissions basis, so you can apply anytime up until the start of the program. In terms of the admissions, what we look for, since this is a master's program, we will require you to have an undergraduate degree, and we expect you to have a minimum of 2 years relevant work experience. Now, if you do not have that 2 years relevant work experience, you can still be considered if you have a strong GMAT score or you've successfully completed CFA level 1 or higher, and if you have an undergraduate degree in business or economics and you have strong internships. So this is for if you're graduating, let's say this year, or you just graduated last year and you don't have that necessary 2 years work experience. This is one of the ways where how you can qualify if you don't meet that criteria. Part of the requirement also requires you to have a GMAT score or completed CFA level 1. We would also consider you if you have a GRE or you have a CPA from North America. To wrap up your profile, we would need 2 letters of reference, a cover letter, and as I mentioned, you will have an interview with myself or one of my colleagues, and that will wrap up the application process. In terms of fees, it's very important to say that we have an all-inclusive fee. So the fees that you see here on the screen are $39,703 for our domestic students, and our international students, the program will cost $76,900. Now, this program fee includes everything from your tuition, books, case competitions that you may participate in, other learning materials, your in-person sessions that you'll be taking throughout your time, and any case competitions that you'll be participating in. This program is OSAP eligible, so if you qualify for OSAP, you can apply for OSAP for this program. So looking at this cost right now, some of you may be wondering, well, how can I finance this degree? So that's what we're going to be really looking at here today. We're going to be looking at different options for you to finance your Master of Finance degree. A look at our agenda for today. These are some of the topics that we're going to be discussing. There are certain things that are not listed here, and I'll briefly touch on them throughout the time that I'll be talking about the different options that are available to you. So some of the options are going to be geared primarily either for domestic students, but we will touch on if you are an international student, what options you have available to you. I'm not going to go into too much details about these. We do encourage you to do your own research. So we'll be touching on the options that are available, and then you can go and do further research to see what you qualify for. And we always encourage you to see, well, if I can apply for this one, then, it does start to add up in terms of how much money you have available to cover the cost of these programs. So the first thing we're going to discuss is the lifelong learning plan. So this is available through your RRSP, primarily for our domestic students. So if you're someone that have made investment into your RRSP, then you can withdraw from your RRSP at least $10,000 per year. So you have a total of 10 years to be able to repay this amount, and a maximum total you can withdraw from your RRSP of $20,000. So you will have to check to see if you qualify to meet the conditions required for the lifelong learning program. And you can use these funds to cover your tuition and other educational expenses. So if this program, since this program is a 1 year, you can only withdraw that $10,000 for that year. Repayments for this program will take place the 5th year after your first withdrawal. So I would encourage you to look into the CRA website to find out if you qualify, what you need, and how you can go about withdrawing from your RRSP to cover the cost of the tuition. We also have the RBC line of credit. So again, this is something that is available for our domestic students. So the Queen's University, the Smith School of Business, we have an arrangement with RBC. You do not have to be in Kingston or Toronto in order to find out about this line of credit. This is something that is embedded in their system, so they know about it. And if you live, let's say, in Vancouver, you should be able to go into an RBC there and learn more about it. We don't know how much you will receive. Like, let's say, we don't know what you qualify for, how much you qualify for. That is something that you will have to discuss with the bank itself. The line of credit is up to a maximum of $70,000. You will need to be enrolled in the program in order to receive this line of credit. So you can go in and ask more information, but in order to get the line of credit, you would need that enrollment letter that we provide once you've paid your deposit and you've secured a seat in the program. You can use that letter to bring to RBC and you can have a conversation about the line of credit. So the interest rate payments during the program and 12 months upon graduation are prime plus 5.5%. So that would be how much your repayment would be. And the repayment period for this line of credit is 10 to 15 years. What we found out from RBC is that our students usually pay this back within 2 to 4 years. So if you go on to our website, I'll show you what the page looks like at the end of this. You can click on the link and you'll be able to see more information about this line of credit that is available for our domestic students. This is something that, again, I mentioned that RBC offers our students in the program, and it's not something that's available at any other bank. It's an arrangement that we have with RBC for our Smith Master of Finance, our Smith students. So not only available for the Master of Finance, but any other program at the school. So you also have the tuition deductions that you receive. So this is something that, again, is available for our domestic students. So when you're looking at the cost of programs, it's very important to not look at it as an apples to apples because it's different and it varies across different universities. So as I mentioned earlier, when you see the total cost of our program, that's not only the tuition that you're seeing. This also covers things as your books, your materials, case competitions, and workshops, and also the in-person sessions that we have in Kingston and in Toronto. So every Canadian receives a tuition credit, and it varies across different provinces. So as you can see, there's a federal tax credit of 15%. And it depends on if you're, whatever province you're coming from, whether or not there is a tax credit that's available for you. If we're looking at Ontario, because that's where we're based, there is no tax credit for any Ontario resident, but you will receive a federal tax credit of 15%. So the figure that you're looking at here, so these are old calculations that you're looking at, but the principle remains the same. So the program fee, as I mentioned, includes a lot of things in there, and the tuition portion is eligible for a tax credit. So for example, the program fee that you saw earlier that indicated $39,000, this is just an example from previous years. So this is $38,000 if the program costs $38,000, we have a non-deductible fee in there as well. So your tuition portion is eligible for a 15% credit. And then, so your true cost of the program will be less than what you're seeing. So you are going to qualify for a tax credit when you're taking this program. So you can use that when you're filing your taxes. So the fee that you're seeing is not the true fee. The program, you will get some money back when you file your taxes because of this credit. So it's an excellent opportunity for you to, when you're looking at the cost, to also take that into consideration, that what you're seeing is not the true cost of the program, because a lot of Canadian residents do qualify for this tuition deduction. So we've talked a lot about the opportunities that are available for domestic students. There are other things that are probably available for you. If you are an investor and you're looking at the stock market and you're invested in the stocks, bonds, whatever it may be, and you have a TFSA, you can also look at removing money from your investments in order to cover the cost of your tuition. I know the markets are, it's up and down these days, but if you're somebody that's been investing for a long time, you also have the opportunity to utilize the money in there to cover some of the cost of the program. So these are just different options that are available for you. And one of the things that we always say, or I always say, is that, since our students are interested in the Master of Finance program, who better than to find ways to finance a program than these students? Because you're able to do research, you're able to invest, you're able to build a portfolio. So, you should be able to have the knowledge in order to figure out how to finance a degree like this. So for our international students, there are two options that are available for you. I will encourage you again to visit our website in our fees and financing page, where you see program fees. On the right side, you'll see these options that are available. You can go and get a lot more details in there. So for one of the options available for our international students, we do have Empower financing. So these are loans for international students only. For this, you're not required to have a cosigner or any collateral or credit history. Loans range between $22,000 and $5,000 over 2 academic terms. Borrowing rates are fixed. Here are the rates. You can check to see if your country is eligible, but they have over 190 nations that are eligible for these loans. The interest only payment period during school, and 6 months postgraduate or repayment period of between 7 to 10 years. If you decide that you're going to repay this loan early, there are no fees associated with that, so you'll not be punished for paying this loan back early. When you look at the rates here, discounts for rates are possible if you are making your loan payment through your bank. So if the withdrawal are occurring automatically through the bank, you could be eligible for a discount. But these are all things that you would have to discuss with Empower. So I would encourage you again to go through the website and look into this a little bit more and get more details to see if this is something that works for you. Another option that is available is Prodigy Finance. We also have an arrangement with them, and this is something for international students. No cosigner, no collateral needed, and it starts off from minimum amount. It's about $10,000 for an individual. So again, please check the website to see about your qualifications and how much you will have to pay back. But again, over 150 plus nations are eligible for this loan. The repayment period is about 20 years, and the repayment begins 6 months after the class end date or 3 months after the final disbursement from the institution. There is also, again, no fees associated if you are to pay back your loan early. Once again, I do encourage you to go onto the website. You can have a conversation with them to find out what the requirements are to see if you qualify for this repayment option or for this loan option. It really depends on your background. I can't answer to tell you whether or not you would qualify. It's a conversation you'd have to have with Empower and Prodigy. So these are just two of the options available from our side through loans. We have Prodigy Finance and Empower. So in terms of scholarships that are available for students in the program, we have an academic scholarships that you can receive. There's no application required for that. If you do qualify for it, you will receive one at the time of your offer. That is valued at up to $5,000. So it's not a guarantee that you will receive the $5,000. And then once again, it's not something you apply for. Everyone is eligible once they've enrolled in the program or they've gone through the full application process. And if they receive an offer letter, you would have been considered for that scholarship. We have two other scholarships that we offer, one for Black students and one for Indigenous students. It's $10K for each. So if you are a Black student and you qualify for this scholarship, you will be considered. We only offer one scholarship for each. So one scholarship for a Black student, one scholarship for an Indigenous student. So all of these are considered once you've submitted an application for the program, sorry. You will be considered for one of these scholarships. There is an application process for the Black and the Indigenous scholarship. So if you are interested in those scholarships, you will have to go through an application process. You will find out more about that once you're enrolled in the program. You will find out when the deadline is for that scholarship. There are a lot more scholarships out there. I mentioned that I will show you this page from our website. I pulled this from the Master of Finance program website. It has a breakdown of the costs for the program. As you can see, our costs and the cost for the program is broken down into 3 different installments. If you are to apply for the program, in order to be enrolled in the program to receive that letter of enrollment, you will have to pay a deposit of $5,000. So on the right-hand side here, you would see all the financing options that are available for you. All the things that I've discussed here today, from the loan, from the personal, from the line of credit, RSP withdrawals, all of these things are included in the website. So you can dive a little bit deeper in there and get a lot more information. So there are financing options available. Scholarships, these are just some that we're able to pull together. If you click on that external scholarships, you can find a lot more scholarships that are available. But again, we don't know exactly what you may qualify for. So it's really important to do investigations right now and do some research to see what is out there. There are a lot of options and opportunities available for students looking to pursue their further education, either from your local government, from your employer. That's always something that you can also look into if you are working and you want your employer to potentially cover a cost of that program. You can also put in a request for that, or you may be able to get some extra days in terms of vacation time, just so that you can attend classes or even attend our on-site sessions. So these are all options. I saw one of my colleagues mention that he put into ChatGPT a request, like, write me a letter of requests to get funding for my education, and it was able to present a letter that he can submit to his employer for opportunities to get some sponsorship from the employer for further education. So there are a lot of opportunities out there. So don't use this list as a guideline, but we encourage you to explore any other opportunities that may be out there, and visit our website to get more information on all of the things that I discussed here today. That's it from me regarding how you can finance your degree. As I mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities out there. We just encourage you to do a little bit more research if you're not familiar with a lot of the opportunities that I've discussed here today. If you are interested in starting your application, please scan the QR code on your screen, or you can go to smithqueens.com/MFin, and that'll give you an opportunity to start your assessment. Once again, there is no cost for that. We operate on a rolling admissions basis, and we're better able to advise you on whether or not you qualify based on the information we will receive from your unofficial transcript and resume. Now we have some time for questions, so I'll turn it over to you to answer any questions that I see in the chat. So I'm going to be looking a little bit up, but that's just because I have a second screen here. So use the Q&A button and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Right, no questions as yet, but I know sometimes people are taking the time, they're starting to write, so I'll just wait a bit and see if I can get questions from anyone about anything, even regarding the program. If you want some more information on the program itself, can give you that as well, or you can even sign up for additional information sessions where we would be talking a little bit more in detail about the program itself. If you want to learn more about the program itself, you can visit our website and you can get access to, register for additional information sessions that will be coming up in the future. So look forward for those. All right, I'm not seeing any questions yet. I'll give it a few more seconds. And if I don't see any, then we'll just sign off for the rest of the day. All right. Well, thank you so much. I didn't receive any questions, so hopefully everything was clear, but I do encourage you to go onto the website to get additional information about the things that I discussed here today. You'll get a lot more details in there. Just know that a lot of financing opportunities are available for you. We can't cover everything, but just do some research and figure out what you qualify for and then put in an application. Also, if you're interested in the program or you have any questions, please send them our way. We're happy to answer any of your questions. Please go onto our website and sign up for additional information sessions in the future. Thank you so much for your time. I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night or morning, depending on where you're joining us from. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.